Hey y'all, this is Amanda and welcome back to my Texas Zone 8A garden, and I am just dying to do a spring planter. It's about mid-February. My friends brought me a container that they thought might be really fun for planting up, and so I am over at Homegrown Plants over in Farmersville, Texas. I'm gonna check out what they have on their inventory and see if there's anything that I can plant up for spring planter. Okay, I just walked in and they have a ton of stuff out, which is very exciting and makes me so excited for the spring. And of course, I'm drawn to all of this color over here. Look at all of this. Look at the guara already. Kalanchoe. They still have some cyclamen, frosty ferns, cypress. This is called Henry Dulberg sage, which one of you guys recently posted what a good plant that is for me to add to my garden. So it might be really fun to do something like this and use it in the planter for a little bit and then plant it out in the garden. Look at this pink. Let's see. This guy is a Salvia Greggii. Mirage Pink Sage. Oh my God, I love that. That's fabulous. That would be so pretty. They have red. They have a light pink. Also a Salvia Greggii. And this was Mirage Soft Pink. These are perennials, each $10. The number one size. Love, love, love the purple. They have it in white. Oh my gosh, they have every color. Look at this, you guys. Look at this. All of these are Salvia Greggii. All different varieties. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at the coral. The coral is fabulous. Mirage Salmon. Love, 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 love. Oh, look at the Veronica. Is this Veronica? What are you? Yep, Speedwell. So Moody Blues Dark Pink Speedwell, which is Veronica. Look at that. So maybe I could do my planter with some perennials and then take it apart, you know, in like 4 weeks. First Love Speedwell, Veronica, this is pretty, and plant it up. Plant it up in my garden and then make a whole new planter. It's a lot of grasses. I'm not super interested in those right now. This is Vinca Minor, which is so pretty. It's a great ground cover. It has these purple flowers. This one is variegated Vinca Minor. Now I'm super attracted to that. That's so pretty. I like that. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Got Ajuga. Look at the variegated Ajuga. How nice would that be in a planter? That one's cool. It's called Burgundy Glow. And then of course it has the purple flowers. I like that a lot. That's really pretty. Kalanchoe. See, they've already got some planters planted up. Look at that yarrow with the guara. Looks good. Here's more yarrow over here. I really like the pink. So pretty. Guys, I had no idea they would have this much stuff already. I'm so excited. Butterfly bushes, guara, more white guara. This is a little bit of a different variety in that the leaves have a little bit more color to them. Gaudy pink. Columbine, Mexican bush sage. We've got the scabiosa. That looks so pretty. The wormwood, artemisia. Here's the penstemon, bearded tongue. I haven't had a lot of luck with these. They flop very easily for me. I do love the creeping moss. Creeping phlox, I'm sorry. That looks good. Lamb's ear, purple queen. We got some homestead verbena. I'm a huge fan of this. And then they have every pansy and viola that ever existed. Look at that. There's our $19 a flat, $18.95. And that includes, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Let me look on the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it includes 18 plants. So pretty. Looks like they have a little bit additional options over here. Lots of the kale. These are super pretty. Look at that. They have lots of the kale available. And it looks like they have dianthus back here. Theirs is dianthus is $16.95 a flat. Okay, well, let me get a cart and I'll come back and choose what I want. Okay, so this is the container that my friend Lisa brought me, and she got it as like a gift at her company. It was filled with all kinds of like crackers and, you know, snacks and all that kind of stuff, but she thought I might really enjoy utilizing this. So that's what it was used for in the past. It has no drainage holes, so I'm going to go ahead and utilize a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver, and a hammer, and go ahead and poke a few holes in the bottom. Okay, I'm going to do this on the floor. Okay, I got some holes poked in the ground. The metal's pretty thin, so it went through pretty well. It did kind of like warp it a little bit, but I think it's fine. So let me go ahead and start by getting some potting soil in here. Okay. So let's talk about the plants that I got. So I purchased 2 of the variegated Vinca Major with the idea that I'm going to enjoy this container for a little while, and then I'm going to actually move all these plants out into my garden. So this variegated Vinca Major is going to be something I'm going to put on one of those back cattle troughs at the back of the backyard. And since this is a perennial, it should just spill over year after year. It has light purple flowers. I love the variegated leaves, so it should do really well. It does like partial shade. And so the areas I'm going to be tucking in are more towards the right, towards the willow tree, which get a little bit more shade. And it is hardy zones to zone 5, I think is what it's saying. And it is hardy to -10 to -20 degrees. It is about 4 to 6 inches tall and about 24 to 36 inches in width. It makes an excellent ground cover. I'm going to actually utilize it more as a spiller kind of situation. So let me start by getting this out. And I didn't mind spending a little bit more on some perennials. For this situation, for this container, I wouldn't usually spend that kind of money. But since these are something that I can use at a later date, I kind of felt fine with it. I thought, you know what? That would actually be really, really great. And then I'm kind of getting double, more bang for my buck in that I'll enjoy them, in this late winter time, and then I'll move them out in the spring. This ground cover has a beautiful kind of lavender purple flower, and I'll put it up there so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So I ended up getting 2 of those. So let's get both of those put in. I think these are absolutely gorgeous. I'm so excited. And I love the idea of them just spilling over the edge. I am not adding any kind of fertilizer to these containers. I don't intend on keeping them together forever and ever, so I don't really feel like there's a need for it. Okay, so additional perennials. I got this Speedwell, or also known as Veronica. This one is called First Love Speedwell, and it is full sun, medium, it says medium water, up to 22 inches tall and 18 to 20 inches wide. Now, like I said, you know, this is going to get some sun. It's not going to get tons and tons and tons of sun, but I don't think these are going to be in the containers long enough for me to like really be overly concerned about the amount of light that they're getting. And this is definitely more of like a thriller portion of the container, because I mean, look at that beautiful color. That color is gorgeous. Okay, another perennial I'm going to add is a Salvia Greggi. This one is called Mirage Pink, and it's full sun, 12 to 14 inches tall, 14 to 16 inches wide. Doesn't say what zones it's hardy in, but I'll put it up down low so you guys can see what it looks like. Salvia Greggi comes in a bazillion colors. Lots and lots of different colors. As you guys saw when I was touring the homegrown plants. It was so exciting to see flowers coming out. Okay, so I kind of feel like I need something else in the middle. I recently picked up this Iberis, or also known as Candy Tuff, from Lowe's. So I'm going to go ahead and add this in as well. It is not hardy in zones 1 and 2. Cold hardiness is -30 to -40. This is one of the first things to bloom in early spring for me. Mature size is about 10 inches high by 24 inches wide. A mounding perennial. Yeah, that looks nice. It just needed a little something full towards the middle of the container. That works really nice. Yeah. And that adds a little bit of contrast for the pink to make the pink stand out. All right, so I also chose a couple of herbs to add in here. So let me show you what I got. I got 2 varieties. The first one is tricolor sage, and I just love the tricolored leaves, a little bit of pink and purple to it. This is perennial, highly decorative, variegated leaves used in drinks, salads, herbs, and arrangements. It needs full sun, grows to 2 to 3 feet tall, prefers moist, well-draining soil. And so I'll get this started in the container, right around there. Might look really good. And then the other herb I got is a mint, which I know y'all are all like, oh my God, it's chocolate mint. It smells really, really, I don't know if it smells like chocolate, but it smells really good. It's also culinary use, grows in full to part sun, grows 36 inches tall, prefers moist, fertile soil. So with the mint, since the mint is a pretty aggressive plant, I am not actually going to, take it out of its pot. I'm going to leave it in its pot and just tuck it in. So let me turn this container so I can show you where I'm going to put that. And I chose it because I really liked its kind of different colored foliage. I got a lot of soil in here, so I'll take some of this out. I really liked because it had a little bit of that kind of deeper tone to it. Like I said, I'm going to leave it in its container, and you can just push it into place like this in there. And then you don't have to stress about this like spreading too much, which I think works really, really good. And then while I'm over here, I'm also going to add a decorative kale or cabbage. I chose it for the white contrast. I thought would look really nice with these other blooms. Let me get it tucked down here. I think it fills that space really nicely too. And any place that I end up having like negative space at the end, I'm actually just going to fill in with decorative moss. I feel like that's a really easy way to fill in without having to spend a ton of money regarding it. Okay, let me turn this back around for y'all. Okay, so I'm going to tuck in the sage right here in front. I might just leave it in its container too. No, I want to be able to angle it a little more. There we go. Okay, next I'm going to tuck in this pansy. And I chose this particular pansy because it's one pansy and look how many stems it has on it. It's kind of crazy. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is an impressive pansy. So I chose this one guy because I was like, look at all this awesomeness and how many blooms were on one plant. And I thought, yeah, I'm here for that. So I chose this one guy. It kind of has like a soft mauvey color. I am clipping off all of the spent blooms just so it's nice and clean. That looks good. And I'll go ahead and get that tucked in right beside that tri-colored sage. And I think that'll be nice because I think we need a little bit more pink over here in this area. And look how great that fills that space in. So pretty. Okay, looking good. Okay, I have one additional ornamental cabbage or kale. It's cabbage actually, I think, that I'm going to get tucked in on this side. Okay. I think that looks pretty stinking amazing. So let me do a little bit of cleanup and then we will come back and I will go ahead and add in some moss. I'm also wondering on some of these tendrils if I might be able to tuck them back up with some landscaping stakes and make like some pretty loops almost. I might mess with that. Okay, let me get cleaned up. Okay, so I'm going to start with some of this Spanish moss, preserved Spanish moss. This stuff is messy, but looks so good. And I'm going to tuck it into areas of the container that have a little bit more of the soil showing, just to kind of give me a cleaner look, but also to help with moisture retention. And I think it's pretty. It adds a little bit of contrast to the green of the leaves. And I also think it adds a little bit kind of a professional quality to the planter. Okay, well, I love it. Okay, so I'm not going to do it right now, but what are y'all's thoughts on if I were to take some of these vines and like loop them back into the container? I think it actually looks a little messy. So I kind of like the idea of them just kind of draping off. It's really kind of supposed to drape more off the front like that. There we go. And the same on this back corner. I think looks really, really nice. Okay, I feel good about this. I really like it. I like the idea that I'm going to enjoy this for like the next like 4 weeks until our freezes are over, 4, maybe 5 weeks. And then what I'll do is the Salvia Greggi, the Iberis, which is also a perennial, the Speedball Veronica, what else? The 2 Vinca minors and the 2 herbs. All of those are perennials and all of those can then be put out into my garden. So the only thing that I'm going to be getting rid of at the end of this is the 2 ornamental kales and the pansies. I think that's not bad. I like that kind of idea for early spring planters. You really want to enjoy some blooms at this time of year. You need some color. Bring them, set them up, put them in a beautiful planter, and then when you're past your last frost, then go ahead and take all of these perennials and put them out into your garden. Kind of into that. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, doing my first planter for the spring, focusing on perennials that can be repurposed out into your landscape after your last frost. But I'm kind of getting, a good kind of double bang for my buck on this, and that I'm going to enjoy it in this beautiful container, and then they're going to go out into the garden, and I should be able to enjoy these perennials for years to come. Now, that chocolate mint is not going in the garden, it's going to go in a container, which is fine, but I did want to make sure I pointed that out. Please don't plant mint into your landscape unless you want it to take over all the places. But this feels really good. It feels refreshing. It smells amazing. Oh my gosh, the sage and the chocolate mint smell amazing. And I think I'm going to enjoy this for the next few weeks. All right, you all, thanks for joining me today. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so you know when my latest videos are up. And make sure you check me out on my community tab on my YouTube page. I'm also on social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. As always, she's a mad gardener or decorator or anything else that she wants to be. Thanks, y'all.